Hello again, my excellent friends.
Here I come to save the day.
Fred, do something.
Igor, would you give me a hand with the bags?
Certainly. You take the blonde and I'll take the one in the tithing.
Oh.
Hey, Abby someone. Abby someone. Abby who? Abby normal.
Abby Normal.
Well, you talked me into it. Oh, don't be such an idiot. What are you, schizophrenic, manic depressive or something? Rich, I'm rich. Who's responsible? Who's responsible? Who did this?
Oh, yes, I'm rumbly in my tumbly. Oh, bother.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to today's stream. I hope all of you have had a good day today. I've had a decent day. Got some writing done after, figured out how I wanted to start this next commission piece. Work was solid. Can't really complain. It was a nice day today, and with a little bit of good fortune. Which I will talk about in a couple weeks, just to make sure some things fall through. But yeah, the concern that I had will be less concerning in a couple weeks' time. But yeah, so really hope everybody's had themselves a good day today. As the Eagles lead the Falcons 7-6. The Tigers lead the Royals 7-6. What's going on with the Phillies? The Cubs lead the Athletics 9-2. The Phillies are losing to the Brewers 5-1. Yes, I had to look that up. Though that update is probably being posted soon. Which one's right? Which one's left here? Yeah, totally got these confused. I am so confused here. Anyway, we are playing Dragon Age Origins this evening. We are getting underway. Oops, come here, you. Yep. We make things so complicated. Yep. Where are my spectacles? There we go. I had a decent night's sleep, too. And there you go. There's the updated score with the Phillies and Brewers. of course, means that Philadelphia sports fans are, of course, panicking. You know what? I probably should have this loaded up. This way I don't have to go through this process every single time. But of course that would will require me to be forward thinking. All right.
If there's anything I can do for you, please, please tell me. I'm sure you'll be pleased with the goods my boy and I have collected.
Enchantment.
And with your discount.
Alright, so where's Alistair at?
What do you need? Ask away.
We'd like to ask you something. So you said this Earl Eamon raised you?
Did I say that? I meant that dogs raised me. Giant slobbering dogs from the Anderfells. A whole pack of them, in fact.
And that would explain the smell.
Well, it wasn't until I was 8 that I discovered you didn't have to lick yourself clean. Old habits die hard, you know.
Slobbering dogs, I see.
Or did I dream all of that? Funny the dreams you'll have when you sleep on the cold, hard ground, isn't it? Are you having strange dreams?
Only ones where we're making mad love in my tent.
I think I completely lost my chain of thought. Oh, there it is. Let's see, how do I explain this? I'm a bastard. And before you make any smart comments, I mean the fatherless kind. My mother was a serving girl in Redcliffe Castle who died when I was very young.
Well, that certainly was a turn.
Anyhow, and put a roof over my head. He was good to me, and he didn't have to be. I respect the man, and I don't blame him anymore for sending me off to the Chantry once I was old enough.
Wasn't your father, so you know who is?
I know who I was told was my father. He died even before my mother did, anyhow. It isn't important. Earl Eamon eventually married a young woman from Orlais, which caused all sorts of problems between him and the king because it was so soon after the war. But he loved her. Anyhow, then you, Arlessa, resented the rumors which pegged me as his bastard. They weren't true, but of course they existed. The Arl didn't care.
Hey, Silent Captain, how you doing today?
So off I was packed to the nearest monastery at age 10. Just as well. The Arlessa made sure
That
the
lurk
castle
shall
was
be
not open by
enchanted.
that point. She despised
Enchantment! What an awful thing to do to a child.
Maybe. She felt threatened by my presence. I can see that now. I can't say I blame her. She
Alright, right on. We'll be here.
herself, I bet. I remember I had an amulet with Andraste's holy symbol on it. The only thing I had of my mother's. I was so furious at being sent away, I tore it off and threw it at the wall and it shattered. Stupid, stupid thing to do. The Jarl came by the monastery a few times to see how I was, but I was stubborn. I hated it there, and blamed him for everything. And eventually...
We're so close to the fire that it's wavy. You were young.
raised by dogs. Or I may as well have been, the way I acted. But maybe all young bastards act like that. I don't know. All I know is that the Jarl is a good man, and well loved by the people. He also was King Kaelin's uncle, so he has a personal motivation to see Loghain pay for what he did. Anyway, that's really all there is to the story. Something on your mind?
Have anyone ever told you how handsome you are?
Not unless they were asking me for a favor. Well, there was that one time in Denerim, but those women were not like you. Why? Is this your way of telling me you think I'm handsome?
You know you're handsome.
Maybe. It doesn't hurt to have a pretty girl say that, though. Beats being run through with a sword any day. So, is this the part where I get to say the same? Oh, well, I'll think about it then. Sometime soon, I'm sure.
Okay, so that worked out.
At your service.
I'd like to discuss something in private.
Well, we're in camp. Now's as good a time as any to talk, right?
I would like to join me in my tent.
Your tent? Ah, I know most guys would probably leap at the chance to be with you, but I don't know if I'm ready for that. It's a big step. I guess that must make me sound like an idiot. I mean...
Yes, he is an idiot.
A credible woman like you, I'd have to be.
Okay, we think it's cute.
Just what every man wants to hear. I guess I was just raised not to take this sort of thing lightly. I hope it hasn't put you off. Alright, so, now that I've handled that with my usual deft brilliance, time to move on. And take a cold bath, maybe. At your service. Well, we're in camp. Now's as good a time as any to talk, right? You know, I was just thinking the same thing. Given the circumstances, things could have been so much worse. I'm so grateful that
we're just seeing what we can do here with this.
Some other Grey Warden. That sounded better in my head. I just mean to say that I can't imagine having done this without you. Now we just need to be rid of that pesky archdemon, and everything will be back to normal, right? At your service. Well, we're in camp. Now's... I can't. I'm not ready yet. At your service. Of course.
Alright. You were raised in the Chantry, have you never...
Never what? Had a good pair of shoes? Oh, so that's what we're talking about.
Yes.
I admit I've never had a woman just come out and ask me like this, that's for sure. I, myself, never had the pleasure. Not that I haven't thought about it, of course. But, you know.
You never had the opportunity?
Well, living in the Chantry is not exactly a life for rambunctious boys. They taught me to be a gentleman. especially in the presence of beautiful women such as yourself. That's not so bad.
This has gotten so silly.
Of course you are, and you know it. You're ravishing, resourceful, and all those other things you probably hurt me for not saying. That's what I'm here for. It's a tough job, but...
We're here to be flattered.
Let us be off then, lest your risque talk make my ears blush. At your service. Of course.
Why have you remained a Templar if you hate the Chantry?
Have you seen the uniform? It's not only stylish, but well made. I'm a sucker for good tailoring.
I don't think I've ever seen you wearing it.
I keep it hidden under my pillow. Sometimes I'll take it out just so I can hug it fondly and remember the good old days. Brings a tear to the eyes, you know.
So you stay Templar out of sentiment?
Oh, sure. They said that all the self-flagellation would be unpleasant, but...
This guy deflects a lot.
One man's pain.
It's actually tough to get a read on his personality at times.
Templar, do you? It's really quite boring.
Then make up something more exciting.
You know, I like the way you think. But I guess if you're really curious, there's no harm in obliging. I have a couple of interesting-looking moles I can show you later, too, if you're interested. The truth of the matter is that I did hate going to the monastery. The initiates from poor families thought I put on airs, while the noble ones called me a bastard and ignored me. I felt like...
Oh, he is a bastard that needs to be ignored.
Unwanted, and I was determined to be bitter. But I took some solace in the training itself, I guess. I was actually quite good at it.
What did you enjoy about the training?
The education, mostly, but also the discipline. You need to have a disciplined mind in order to use the abilities we have. It was difficult, but rewarding. I never really felt at home anywhere, though, until I joined the Grey Wardens. And Duncan felt my Templar abilities might be useful for when we encountered Darkspawn magic. So
well, Duncan was wrong, wasn't he?
You? Do you have anywhere you consider home?
Home is where our camp is. We're travelers.
We won't always be traveling like this, you know. Once the war is over, once the Blight is... well, a time will come when we'll have to think about having a real home again. Though that seems like a far ways off. And I suppose the Grey Wardens are gone for good, either way.
You can always keep traveling.
Maybe. Could you? I don't know what I'd find out there that would be any different. I guess it would depend on where I was going. Anyhow, now I've sidetracked us. We'd better get back to what we're supposed to be doing right now.
Well, right now we're having deep and meaningful conversations.
At your service. Of course.
What changed your mind after... What changes about you after the joining?
You mean other than becoming a Grey Warden?
What changes physically?
You know, I asked Duncan this too, and all I got was, "You'll see."
Just try that line on me.
I have other lines for you. Trust me. Oh, it's not that Duncan
wow.
wants to keep it a secret. It's just that the Grey Wardens don't discuss it much. I gather it's not a pleasant topic. The first change I noticed was an increase in appetite. I used to get up in the middle of the night and raid the castle larder. I thought I was starving. I'd slurp down every dinner like it was my last. My face all covered in gravy. When I'd look up, the other Grey Wardens would stare. Then
Gravy.
laugh themselves to tears.
Never felt anything like that.
Really? Because I was watching you wolf down food the other day, and I thought, ooh, it's a good thing she gets a lot of exercise.
What can I say? I'm a growing girl.
I'll say. I didn't mean it like that.
Wow, yeah.
Don't hit me. I bruise easily. Oh, and then there were the nightmares. Duncan said it was part of how we sense the Darkspawn. We tap into their, well, I don't know what you call it, their group mind. And when we sleep, it's even worse. You learn to block it out after a while, but at first it's hard. It's supposed to be worse for those who join during a blight. How is it for you?
Nightmares, yes, I know what you mean.
Some people never have much trouble, but that's rare. Others have trouble sleeping their entire life. They're just more sensitive.
You're thinking of like dialogue and lore here, but
Ends up the same, though. Once you reach a certain age, the real nightmares come. That's how a Grey Warden knows his time has come.
this time has come.
Oh, that's right. We never had time to tell you that part, did we? Well, in addition to all the other wonderful things about being a Grey Warden, you don't need to worry about dying from old age. You've got 30 years to live, give or take. The Taint.
Wow,
It's a death
only
sentence.
30 years?
Ultimately, your body won't be able to take it. When the time comes, most Grey Wardens go to Orzammar and die in battle rather than waiting. It's tradition.
Why Orzammar?
You'll always find Darkspawn down where the dwarves are. The oldest Grey Wardens head to the deep roads for one last glorious battle. Not that there's a shortage of Darkspawn during a blight, but that's the tradition. The dwarves respect us for it. And you wondered why we kept the joining a secret from the new recruits. There you have it.
Never wondered, I understand.
You know, Duncan, he started having the nightmares again. He told me that in private. He said it wouldn't be long before he'd go to Orzammar himself.
Well, he didn't make it to Orzammar.
I just wish it had been something worthy of him.
He will be remembered.
I know. Ending the blight should make this all worthwhile, right? At your service. Of course.
What would like to be a Grey Warden with our
I didn't
orders?
know them for very long,
Alright.
but I guess it was longer than you. You never met them all, did you? They were quite a group. Actually, they felt like an extended family.
You know what? Of course we haven't met anyone else.
We also laughed more than you'd think. There was this one time... Well,
There was this one time at Warden Camp. Were there any elves amongst them?
just one. A man named Terramel. He kept to himself mostly. I got the impression that his life before the Grey Wardens was unpleasant. There was one Grey Warden who came all the way from the Anderfells. What was his name? It was Gregor... He was a burly man with the biggest, fuzziest beard you've ever seen.
He had an unruly beard? I had one, then I shaved it off a few days ago.
He never got drunk. Finally, we all made a pool to see just how many pints it would take to put him under the table.
Just like sounds like you had a lot of fun.
Sometimes. We were kin of a sort. All of us had gone through the joining, so we knew... Well, anyhow. It doesn't have to be deadly serious all the time. Anyhow, we never did find out. He said he'd drink a pint for every half pint that the rest of us drank. He was still going by the time the rest of us were passed out. I'm told that Duncan walked in later on and saw us all passed out from one end of the hall to the other, and Gregor still drinking.
They say Gregor is still drinking to this very day.
Until... Yes, I suppose so. I thought I was done with this, but it It just struck me that I have nothing to remember Duncan by. Nothing at all. There's no body, not even a token of his that I could take with me. That must sound really stupid to you.
Not at all.
I just would have liked something of his to take with me, that's all. Well, there's no use in moaning about it, is there? He's gone. Let's just go. I'm wondering something. I'd like to know your thoughts about some of our traveling companions. Do you mind if I ask?
Ooh. Time for the juicy gossip, I take it.
I've got this nefarious plan to go around to each of them and secretly tell them all the nasty things you said. That way they'll mutiny and I shall become the group leader.
Very cute, so you know I'm laughing at you, not with you. I'm gonna trust you to lead us to lunch.
Hey, that's a pretty good policy. Where exactly is lunch, anyway? Seriously, though, I'm only curious. I've had enough time to form my own opinions, and I just want to see if yours are any different.
Sounds like fun. Ask away.
What about Sten? The way he looks at me with those eyes. Creepy. And he's so quiet for someone so big.
He's dedicated, I'll give him that.
Yet he doesn't seem quite so bad as the Chantry tells us. According to them, his philosophy is vile and evil. Yet he seems so reasonable. And yet, he killed all those people. He doesn't even deny it. Doesn't that bother you?
He seems to regret what he did.
I'm not so sure that his regret means the same as it would for us. The Qunari sense of honor is a bit hard to grasp. For me...
How hard is it to grasp?
What about Liliana? Is she crazy? Or do you really believe in her vision?
I believe that she believes in her vision.
That's one way to put it. I noticed that you and her have become close. Am I right? The rest of us have talked about it.
We have a connection.
Thought so. Well, I hope you know what you're doing. I don't know what to make of her. If you look at her when she doesn't see you, she just looks so sad. I almost feel guilty taking her away from her life.
It was her choice.
Yes, I know. Still, I feel badly for her. Morrigan, do you trust her? Think about it. Maybe Flemeth sent her with us for some other reason than she said.
You really don't like each other, do you?
Well, aside from the fact that she's a complete and utter bitch.
Wow.
No, I don't like her at all.
Just
Why?
say what you really feel, Alistair. This one keeps falling out my ear. I like her just fine.
Great. I am thrilled beyond words. Now, really. Enough. I think my curiosity is sated. Let's get back to it, shall we? At your service. Well, we're in camp. Now's as good a time as any to talk, right? Fair enough. Off we go then. At your service. Of course.
How did you become a Grey Warden?
Same way you did. You drink some blood, you choke on it, and pass out. You haven't forgotten already, have you?
Haha, very
I
funny.
do my best.
Yeah.
What can I say? Let's see, I was in the Chantry before. I trained for many years to become a Templar, in fact. That's where I learned most of my skills.
You don't seem like the religious sort.
You're telling me I was banished to the kitchens to scour the pots more times than I can count. And that's a lot. I can count pretty high. The
How high can he
Grand Cleric
count?
to let me go. Duncan was forced to conscript me, actually, and was she ever furious when he did? I thought she was going to have us both arrested. I was lucky.
Why did the Grand Cleric want to keep you?
I wondered that myself. It's not as if she valued me highly. I think she just didn't want to give anything to the Grey Wardens, is all. The Chantry didn't lose much. And I think I can do more fighting the Blight anyhow, rather than sitting in a temple somewhere. I'll always be thankful to Duncan for recruiting me. If it hadn't been for him, you know, I wouldn't have.
He was a good man.
He was. A good man who didn't deserve his fate. That much I'm sure of. Come on, let's go. I think I'm done talking.
You're not done talking.
At your service. Of course. Such as they are. That's a good question. There's plenty in Orlais, but who knows where they might be found. And the nearest Orlesian city is weeks away. If we go north and cross the sea, there's bound to be some in the Free Marches. Again, however, I just don't know where. I don't know anything about Grey Wardens.
He doesn't know anything. All right. Is there a headquarters somewhere?
Here in Ferelden, there's our compound in Denerim at the palace, but that's it. Loghain will have control over that and be watching it, no doubt. Beyond that, the only place I know of is Weishaupt Fortress. That's the headquarters of all Grey Wardens in the Anderfells, 1,000 miles from here. But I've no idea how to even contact them. So unless we try to get back to the compound in Denerim, I suppose the answer is no. There's nowhere for us to go.
So what happens now that there's just two of us?
I imagine that eventually the
We
Grey
start-
Wardens outside of
we start
Ferelden
recruiting.
wonder what's happened. Why there's no contact from Duncan or someone. They'll send someone eventually. Though who knows what Loghain's people in Denerim will tell them. Maybe they won't send anyone. We could try to contact them. But that would mean leaving Ferelden, and even if we did, they couldn't come back with us in time to stop the Blight. So that means...
So like we're kind of screwed either way.
It's up to us.
Do we need to start rebuilding the order?
I mean, eventually we would have to use the joining to make more Grey Wardens, right? But I don't know how to do the joining, or what's involved. I know it involves lyrium and some other magic, and that it's really difficult to prepare, but that's it. Unless we can find out more about the joining, I guess we better get used to the idea that there might only be two of us for now. Until more come from elsewhere.
What would happen if we just left?
Just left? You mean just left Ferelden? I don't know. If there's an archdemon, however, we're supposed to be the only ones who can defeat it. And that means the Blight would grow unchecked. Eventually, other Grey Wardens in Orlais and other lands would hear about it, and they would come to fight it, but they wouldn't come in time to save Ferelden. There's no way. I'm not going anywhere. About the Grey Wardens, anyhow. Fair enough. At your service. Of course.
Can you tell me about the Grey Wardens?
Such as they are. About the Grey Wardens, anyhow. Fair enough. At your service. Of course.
Can you teach others to be a Templar?
Others, yes. But not yourself. I need someone who's trained first as a warrior. It's as much about discipline as anything. I guess if I'm going to give up Chantry secrets, I may as well go all the way. Send whoever you want trained to me in camp, and I'll see what I can do.
All right.
You are not quite as callow as I thought. That is unexpected.
I feel so short. Callow? You thought I was callow?
You sound surprised. You must have heard this before. You'll get over it. Eventually.
Why did you come to Ferelden?
I was sent to be the eyes of the Antom. The Arishok asked, "What is the Blight?" By his curiosity, I am now here.
What is an Arishok?
The one who commands the Antom, the body of the Kunari.
So he's your king?
Kunari have no kings.
What do you have then?
Little patience for endless questions.
Did you find the answer to his question?
A portion of it.
What was the answer?
Were you not at Ostagar when the army was overwhelmed? That is your answer.
Why would the Kunari care about the Blight?
Why do you?
It could destroy the world?
Do you think the Kunari live on some other world, then?
Don't you have to report back then?
Yes.
I can see you're right on top of that.
I cannot go home.
Why not?
It doesn't matter now. Can we move on? We keep the Darkspawn waiting.
I want to discuss something you mentioned.
Speak, then. Then I suggest we move on.
I have a question.
I am hardly surprised.
Do you find Ferelden very strange?
To put it lightly, no one has a place here. Your farmers wish to be merchants. The merchants dream of being nobles, and the nobles become warriors. No one is content to be who they are.
Don't the Kunari ever want to change their lot in life?
What does that accomplish? The farmer who buys a shop is never a merchant. He is always a farmer turned merchant. He carries his old life with him as a turtle carries its shell.
But that makes the turtle stronger.
Does it? It's also his weakness. If he stumbles and falls over, it pins him on his back. It is better to armor yourself with no more than what you need. One life, one duty.
You don't think happiness is important?
You can learn to find it in doing your duty, in serving your people. There is no need to search for it. Shall we move on?
Is there anything you like about Ferelden?
There is interesting food here. You have a thing. It doesn't have a word in the Kunari tongue. Little baked things like bread, but sweet and crumbly.
Cookies?
Yes. We have no such things in our lands.
He likes cookies.
This should be remedied.
I'll keep that in mind.
Shall we move on? Speak, then. Then I suggest we move on. I am hardly surprised. Very well. Speak, then. Then I suggest we move on. As you wish.
Okay, well. Alright, so we got a lot of dialogue done. I'm gonna speak to Dog. Dog has been spoken to.
Yes.
Indeed. Indeed.
Indeed. Ben Lauren lands. Well, let's head this way. Despite to recognize the uniform of King County and Xanagard, a memory comes to you. You fall alongside this man in Ostagar. Guards wear uniforms of Ban Lorraine, a mine lord well known and little love for fluidity of his allegiances.
Couldn't we all just get along? No. Of course.
Now we get our hands dirty.
As you deserve. Well, all done. Love me. So I shall. Love me.
Let's end this.
As you deserve.
Charge!
Love me. Well, if I...
At your service.
All right. Pick up that stuff. The man's place some mistake when we remember him as Elric Marionage, a member of the Kaelin's honor guard. Close confidant of the king.
Thank you. I didn't expect the band's men to notice my escape so quickly. I tried to hide here in the woods, but there wasn't time. And now I'm a dead man.
Tried to help.
There in Ostagar. You know how things went.
Yes, we did.
It was either this, or die in some dark spawn's belly, or be hung as a deserter.
Yes, I recognize your face.
You were there with the Grey Wardens, one of Duncan's new recruits. I was to guard the king. He was my friend, understand? Maker. All that time in Ban Loren's prison. And I couldn't stop thinking about all they suffered that one dark night at Ostagar.
It's not your fault.
I know. Even had Logain's men not turned their backs on us, the Darkspawn were too many. Even Kaelin, for all his bravado, knew there would be no victory at Ostagar. The king entrusted me with the key to the royal arms chest. If anything were to happen to him, he said, it was vital I deliver it to the Wardens.
Do you still have this key?
The Maker has a sense of humor, doesn't he? I suppose it's for the best, however. Had I kept it, it would be in Ban Loren's hands by now.
Why am I not surprised? Is there someone else we should be bringing back from the brink of death instead?
I was afraid. I thought I would lose it on the battlefield, so I stashed it in the camp. Please, it's probably still there.
Where?
The key's behind a loose stone at the base of a statue. I'll draw a map for you, so you'll know where to search.
You'll be taking me along, won't you? Call me sentimental, but I left behind some dark spawn that really deserve a sword through the middle.
Yes, we will take him along.
These documents do not fall into the wrong hands. As for Marik's sword, it is too powerful to be pawed at by those monsters. Same for the king's other arms and armor. And if you happen to find Kaelin's body, see it off. He was our king. He shouldn't be left to rot amidst the Darkspawn's filth.
Well, he did. Alright, return to Ostergard. You know what? We're heading this way.
Can't we just say do or something?
Right ahead.
Now we get our hands await your command.
Might as well pick this stuff up.
At your service.
Trap right ahead.
Oh, Falcons are up on the Eagles 15-10.
Allow me. I could do that for you.
Wolves frequent this area. Traps laid for wolves. That's good to know. We'll continue on our way.
I got it!
All right. I think it's...
And so I shall.
Get over there, kick ass, and take names. Asses.
Whether to laugh or cry, but it's clearly Kaelin's. There can be no doubt.
Like butts were kicked.
It appears we will need to fight the entire Blight ourselves. And so I shall. I am your
We shall fight them on the hills, on the beaches. All right.
Come and get it. Of course. I'll try to be merciful.
They're like, no mercy for these assholes.
Sadly not.
I await your command.
All done.
All right. I will once again turn between when to replay this and when to disappear. I mean, yes, I know I can watch people play it, but it's not the same. Yeah, it most certainly is not. You want to experience it. Make all the choices that you know are the correct choices. That requires Magic 36. Use that Magic 30. See, I know I'm making rather rash decisions. Knowing and yet not knowing. I decide I'm just replaying the Persona Rhythm games. Oh, I've played those and platinum all three. Matter of fact, while I got them digitally, I also have the like the steel book, not the steel book, but the physical copy of it too. Do kind of wish that the Persona 3 Dancing in Moonlight and Persona 5 Dancing in Starlight were just one game, and that they would have had the cast meet because of the. There really was not a need for two separate games in a Pokemon style release. I'm not complaining because I got them both at the same time, obviously, but.
Even more dark
Light Wolf. You know, the snarling of a lot of these beasts is rather loud in one ears. It would make sense, especially considering the Dancing Moonlight makes. Yeah, they both did. Persona. Yeah, there's a fair amount of references to Persona 3 in the dancing game and the Persona 5 one.
I'm here for you.
Because Futaba references Fuka. Trying to get to this damn thing here. Thank you. Pick that up. And clearly they did it because they were both announced at the same time at the Epic Soundbomb concert. Yeah. Oh, Persona, yeah, because they were released, they were announced on the same day. I've seen that I've seen that Soundbomb concert. It's like unless I'm going insane. As the Phillies lose. Compare. That's a better helmet there. No. Persona 4 Dancing All Night was released first. I was like originally on the Vita, right? And then Persona 3 and Persona 5, the two dance games were announced on the same day. And they were released at the same time. It's like it was like a Pokemon style released. I say as the Yeah. See, it's like they because I just saw the ad break notification. So the Soundbomb concert, I guess it was like it was the more famous of them, and I forget the year. It was at that one that was announced because they had a whole segment that was where they announced both games back to back, and then they both came out at the same time. Yeah, 2017. Yep. So that's why it's like the Persona 3 and Persona 5 dance games are like basically parallels to each other. It's like with the only real difference. Yep. So they were. Yeah. So that's where like the whole big thing, because the Persona 4 Dancing All Night was like the last. I believe it was the last big hurrah for the Persona 4 side of things, because they got Persona 4 Golden, and the two Persona 4 Arena and Arena Ultimax. What's his strength at? Yeah. Money grabs. I don't know. I'll say this. I've played. I'm someone who has played the Persona 4 fighting games. I would not say they were money grabs, because I went through the story mode in both of them. There is a lot of story, and I mean a lot of story in the Persona 4 fighting games. That were they because a lot of it, a large chunk of it, especially Persona 4 Arena Ultimax, does a lot to like give like the Persona 3 cast like what were they doing next, like how did they what they ended up doing. It's like, so you got like Ken and the dog is like being older and stuff. So Ken's a little heartthrob. Yukari is a actress in Featherman. Junpei is a bum baseball coach, but he's great. He works with kids. Mitsuru got hotter. Akihiko got hotter. Yep, hotter. Yep, that's what it's like. The double release were money grabs. Yeah, it's like if you were a fan of one game, if you were a fan of Persona 3 and didn't want, it's like the value was to get them both at the same time. It was like, because they treating them as like a Pokemon release with a parallel with the story, like crossed over, was kind of like was like the wrong way to go about it. It should have been like one flat game and with the cast actually meeting. Even if it's like with it being in a dream state and like totally non-canon, but that's what the Persona Q games are. Because when you think about so this is downright hilarious now that I think about it. That the only games in terms of spin-off material, the games that are the most canon are the two fighting games. The fighting games are more canon than the dancing games. Which is absolutely crazy. No, I take that back, because Persona 4 Dancing All Night is canon because Kanemin is referenced in both Persona 4 and Persona 5. So I take that back. Because everything's great at your Juness. Now, there should be like a boss something or other here, right?
Judging by these documents, it's a pity we hadn't placed more trust in Orlais and less in the king's own father-in-law.
Blades like that inspire songs that last the ages.
Okay. But I'll say this: the dancing and choreography in the dancing games are awesome.
Time for more Darkspawn, I see. As you desire, so I shall. Of course. Lovely. As you desire. So I shall. It's a fight. How lovely.
Oh yeah. Like the dancing in Persona 3 and Persona 5 the Persona 3 and Dancing 5 games blow Persona 4's dancing out of the water in terms of the choreography, especially in the duets portions. Well, Persona 4 dancing, its big advantages is that it has that story. It has that story. And that's what was missing. That is what was missing from the Persona 3 and Persona 5 dancing games. Is like they had a potential there for a story, and it just got more like just hanging out and like dancing with everyone and some awkward flirting and such that would occur. So that those details being missed. Oh boy. It's like, granted, the big story of the Persona 3 and 5 dancing games. Oh, it's awkward flirting. Oh, trust me, things get like, Morgana. Morgana gets a little bit more off the chain in the Persona 5 dancing game. Wonderful. I didn't notice the trap until it was too late. Attack them! Beat their asses!
You should run while you can.
You know, this is so much more relaxing than the on casual difficulty than the PC version by such a wide margin. Mainly because I don't feel like the need to be trying to smash like stuff on the hot bar as often.
I have finished.
Oh, that was awkward. We're gonna have a lot of stuff to sell because I don't have a. So there is a dude. There's someone whose ass we need to kick here. Just don't remember exactly where they are in relation to everything else. Not big PC player, so I do feel stretched out whenever I have to play PC games without a controller. Yeah, I mean, first time I played Mass Effect was the PC version. And, of course, playing that version, I was like, that's where I started wondering, like, why do people complain about the Mako? It's like the Mako was like the best part about Mass Effect 1. Besides everything Rex would say. Hey, look, the king is just hanging out here. It was Saturday when the king died. How can we look mournful? We barely knew him. Oh, and he's running away.
So I shall. Well, all right. Well, all right. Here comes trouble. Well, all right. So I shall. Of course. You cannot win.
Like, there was no other way to do that but to just go... But to run all the way over there. Rude. I was knocked out during combat. Any sustainability the party had active was deactivated. He or she will also now have an injury. Okay, so first time that's happened. So me going back and dealing with what was behind us was the worst decision. Alright, so where is... Liliana got knocked out, so how do you tell what the injury status is on this?
How wonderful.
Right.
Okay, so, it's over there. So it's this. Right. So it's like injuries.
Oh, no. Time for more darkspawn, I see.
I'll go in. It's a simple game. Team Fortress true, but let's be real. Not a lot of button smashing inventory to keep track of. Very, very true.
Well, all right. And so I shall.
Oh yeah, that was my introduction to it. Although the inventory management system in that left a lot to be desired. Oh, especially with the Spectre weapons. Like reloading? Who needs to reload with the Spectre weapons?
Up there, the Tower of Ishal. Let's do this.
We're finding all this stuff here. Where are we? Where are we in inventory space? Okay, we can pick up like 7 more things.
Allow me. I could do that for you. Trap right ahead.
No, this was essentially almost like my party when I played this on PC years back. Like everyone specialized with the tanks and stuff. World map. All right, let's go through what we have here. Light. Move the junk. Move the junk. Man, unless I'm gonna just like start putting like Morgan and stuff. 2.10. Well, Alice started looking beefy. All right. Yeah, it's like that can go to junk. Merrick's blade. Pretty solid thing to have there. I mean, the smart thing would be to give it to Alistair, but do lose the enchantment, but we do get some other advantage and perks. I doubt there are ports, but the Fire Emblem games would be great on PC. Just, yeah, I don't think, no, because Fire Emblem is a Nintendo series. I've never played a Fire Emblem game.
Darkspawn, straight ahead.
I mean, the closest I would say I've played was Persona 5 Tactica twice. Which was arguably one of the best completion process I have ever gone through. The game's amazing. Nintendo Company. We refuse to let anyone else have fun unless it's on our terms. Yeah. It's why I'm always hesitant. It's like if I'm going to stream anything from my Switch, like I have to think, do I really want to deal with whatever the hell Nintendo, how Nintendo can be rather asinine? Well, then Liana got herself knocked out again.
Alistair here.
Indeed.
Root of Death.
It cannot be. Oh no.
Need to really throw down the whole bunch of stuff there.
Oh. Sadly not.
My skill is inefficient.
Ready.
It's done.
Her skill was sufficient. All right. Where are we going from here? Man, Cannon's possession stuff was all over the place there, so we need to make... All right, progress being made. stuff. Okay, well, that was a thing. We're finding our way back up this tower. Yep, game being saved. That was a spicy meatball.
Of course, and so I shall. It is done.
We are here once again. Oh, neat! Dramatic deaths. I forgot about that aspect of this game. When stuff like happens. All right, and it appears I glitched it out too somehow, some way.
Here they come. As you desire. Make a preserve us. And you shall pay.
Alright, fire arrows found. Like, you just want to go around and pick up everything. Nut crushers.
Ugh, down the hole and into the deep. I don't even want to imagine where that leads.
It leads down. Like, where else will it lead? We went down the hole.
It appears we will need to fight the entire blight ourselves. Well, all right. And so I shall. Of course.
All right, level up there. Oh my god, that's an old reference. Well, I am old. Auto level up there. Come on, you don't push the button, I push the button. Fucking spiders! What we got there? That's a passive. There we go. We make old references here at times. Heck, it was like beginning of the stream. We had some like sound clips in there from like Young Frankenstein. Actually, it's pronounced Frankenstein. What? Do you say Froderick? No, it's pronounced Frederick. Fucking spiders!
I got it.
Maybe I was thinking we should have brought the dog. These guys look adorable. They look so little. They look so tiny. We are the Grey Warden. Alright, so we got an achievement. Alright, so we... More freaking spiders! It's like... What the actual hell? One big positive here, we were being backed up by Vala Mandarin. Oh wait, I know I said that wrong.
Complete.
Hey. So we got so much stuff. Yes, we shall venture forth to the battlefield. Funny enough, we spent a lot of time talking to Alistair at the very beginning of the stream. You gotta make use of this epic cutscene again. What, are we supposed to be impressed? We're not. Well, we're not. Kick his ass! In war, victory.
There. That is the last of them. I only pray we can carry them as valiantly as he.
We'll carry them, but no, we actually need like... Oh, that's right, we got that fortress. Wouldn't we be able to store some of this stuff? We actually got... That works out. Yeah. Okay, he can wield that. There, our inventory is full. Well, I can guarantee that there will be plenty of people in the Philadelphia area panicking because the Eagles lost to the Atlanta Falcons. Kind of funny on like the weapons requirement of who can hold what. But if I was like, you know, thoroughly invested into like paying absolute attention. Wait. We fell off there. Are we stuck? Oh shit. Oh. We're not stuck. Alright, we gotta take the... Oh, wait, we gotta take the long way back. Unless, you know, you get like a fast travel option, but... which I doubt. Oh, you do. Never mind.
Oh, they left him here to rot. We need to do something.
He's a royal brother and deserve a pyre. Bring him down, leave him to the wolves. He's dead and gone, let the Darkspawn have their fun. That's the dwarven response. Alright, yeah.
He was a good man who hoped too much and died too young. He deserves what little honor we can afford to grant him.
Very little honor. For he was honorless. He had less honor than Duras. Wow. Morgana disapproves. Oh, shit. No, if it wasn't for the fact that she's like a magic dealer. Hey, look! Another crate! But did I even explore this way before? Yeah, we did. I don't know what the heck I was thinking. I wasn't thinking. That was the problem. They should be able to just walk right out of here. For one simply does not walk into Ostegard. Let's see. Chainmail boots. Whoa. What's that says? Reek Sage. Alright, thank you very much for the follow. May your wisdom guide us through the realms of Dragon Age. Joining your next stream with friends. Alright, cool. Well, I'm here almost every night, so there's always be a place at the table, as they say. These are almost identical. It doesn't matter which one looks better. Cannon Steel requires 32 strength. Wow, definitely need... Would most certainly need to be beefy to wear it, some of this stuff. Alright, where we're going here? We need some enchantments.
Enchantment? Enchantment! You and your friends are formidable folk, indeed. It's good to have you along.
We're very vulnerable.
Thank the Maker we didn't lose Tyrn Loghain at Ostagar. He pulled his troops out just in time, so it said. Without him...
You know, you couldn't tell this is Reginald Barclay from the Star Trek, but still.
Take it for what it is. I'm sure you'll be pleased with the goods my boy and I have collected, and with your discount.
All right. All right, we need... Need to make some room. It's not a gift. Alright, it gives us... Trying to see is like, what? What can we... What's this? So we need something. We needed something there for Morgan. So there you go. Okay, cool.
Yes. Of course. Such as they are. About the Grey Wardens, anyhow. Fair enough. Yes. Well, we're in camp.
Yes, we are.
As good a time as any to talk, right? Oh, you want to right now? Well, who am I to refuse?
Yeah, we're two-timing Liliana here.
Yes. Well, we're in camp. Now's as good a time as any to talk, right? Fair enough. Off we go then.
All right.
I'm here for you. Of course.
What will you do when this is all over?
I have not given this a lot of thought. What will I do? A brief stop at the cloister in Lothering is in order. I left quite abruptly, and I should tie up loose ends if I can.
That sounds reasonable.
I'll not stay in Lothering for long. My time in the cloister was a time of healing, but I am ready to face the world again.
So wonderful to hear you say that.
There's so much out there. Adventures to be had and stories to be told.
And for her to appear in the Inquisition as an NPC that we can use to assign tasks to.
Welcome to come along if you like. It is settled then. You and I wandering the world, seeking our fortunes. I can't wait. I'm here for you. Of course. Wait, you want to talk about us? Is there something bothering you?
You're the best thing that's ever happened to me.
Really? You think so? You're so sweet. I'm here for you.
Boy, she panicked in a heartbeat there.
Of course.
You are a traveling minstrel. Do you have any tales?
Of course I do. I love stories far too much to keep them to myself. Everyone should be able to benefit from them, I think.
Tell me about the Darkspawn. So let's get some extra lore and stuff here.
The Darkspawn. In ages past, the mages of the Tevinder Imperium.
Why do I get the feeling that she was supposed to be having this conversation with like someone taller?
Invincible, and imagined that they were greater than the Maker himself. So thinking,
she's like looking at an upward angle,
planning to take it for themselves and depose their own creator. But they were impure and full of sin. And it is with the sin that they tainted the Golden City, corrupting it forever. The Maker cursed them and cast them from his sight.
Now that you see it, you can't unsee it.
Went, they spread the taint of their sin. Any land that was touched by the taint became blighted and would suffer no life.
Anything that was touched by the taint was teabagged. Yeah, I said it.
Of course, Orlesians enjoy telling stories. I shall tell you my favorite tale of Aveline, the Knight of Orlais. A long time ago, a girl...
Yeah, it's kind of the same concept for comic artists. Was designed around a superhero body, which is like 6 feet and taller. Yeah. Of course, this is Dragon Age. You have it where like the line of sight is like, okay, you got like your tall humans, your diminutive, your shorter elves, and then your tiny dwarves.
Under the guidance of the elves, she learned to wield the sword as well as.
So there you go. Here in this shot here, the line, the eye line is actually about even.
As graceful on the back of a horse as she was on foot. Aveline's Dalish guardians saw that she could easily best any Orlesian chevalier in battle, and wanted to show the cruel humans the child they had left to die.
Of course, this was BioWare, so we can't always trust BioWare to like have things line up perfectly.
Now, in those days, no woman was allowed to take up arms.
I mean, let's be honest here. One of my favorite things when playing like the original version of Mass Effect is to like point out the skin tone differences between Anderson's face and hands. Did you win the Torrency?
Aveline won many events and gained the approval of the adoring crowd. Eventually,
you know, I can't wait for this damn cut on my finger to heal so I can stop putting a damn bandage on it every morning. It's nearly healed, but it's like, it is kind of irritating at times. Especially when I try to close my hand and stuff.
Off her helmet as he did so. Silence fell upon the arena as Aveline was revealed. Kaleva declared the previous competitions invalid. A woman had taken part, and this was not allowed. But the crowd cheered for Aveline. Kaleva was furious, for he had lost to a woman and was now being shamed. Blinded by his rage, he forced Aveline to her knees. "Know your place, woman," cried he, and slit her throat.
That's terrible.
The son of the king, Prince Freyan, was present. He recognized Aveline's skill and bravery and began to see the injustice done to the women in his land. When he was made king, he rewrote the laws of Orlais so that women could also become chevalier. He honored Aveline and knighted her after her death. And to this day, any female who is knighted reveres Aveline the Brave, for she is the patron of all women chevalier.
Do you know any Ferelden legends?
I know one, told to me by my mother a long time ago. It always chilled me to the bone.
I always do appreciate how much work they do put into the lore and stuff. I met a Flemeth in the Korcari Wilds.
Are you sure? Was she the Flemeth of legend? Flemeth, the devourer of men? Flemeth, mother of witches? Flemeth, demon-touched, who dwells in the mists?
She looked like your average old woman.
Well, if
Very
Flemeth
average. She just looked like she just sounded like she should be captaining a starship and pissing off the entire Delta Quadrant.
They say that if
Have
you're
a good
bad,
one, Cylon.
Flemeth
Thanks
will
for hanging
steal you
out.
away and bind you to her forever.
See you
It
next
also said that
time.
Flemeth mourns her lost beauty and will steal yours through your looking glass if she catches you.
Flemeth was once beautiful?
Flemeth's beauty was known throughout the land. She
Need some
had
water.
hair like unto a moonless night, skin as pale as winter's first snow, and eyes as beautiful and perilous as the sea. When she came of age,
That basically
she came to the
describes
attention
Morgan.
of the Lord of Highever, Conobar, and he took her for his wife. Conobar soon learned that his young bride had the gift of magic. He kept this a secret, for he feared that she would be taken from him. Flemeth stayed with Conobar for some years, and with his blessing, she practiced her art.
Oh, the
And then
lore!
one day, a
The
young poet named
lore!
Osen came to the castle. Flemeth was captivated by Osen's voice, and he by her beauty, and they fell in love.
Ooh, the plot thickens. Much like my
Flemeth
waistline.
longed to be with her true love, and she and Osen fled from Conobar's lands, seeking refuge in the Kokari wilds with the Chasing tribes. They lived there happily for many a year, till the day Flemeth received news that Conobar was dying and longed to see her face one last time. Flemeth's heart swelled with pity for the man who once was her husband, and begged Osen to return to Conobar's side with her. But when Flemeth and Osen entered Highever, they were captured by Conobar's men, and Osen was slain in front of Flemeth's eyes. Flemeth was imprisoned in the highest tower of the castle, there to await Conobar's judgment on her. Distraught at the loss of her love, Flemeth plotted revenge against her husband. She summoned a fey demon, intending for it to wreak vengeance on Conobar. But a spell went awry. The demon possessed Flemeth. Turning her into an abomination, the halls of the castle ran red with blood as Flemeth slaughtered Conobar and all his men. The last of Flemeth's humanity melted away, and at dawn,
No, her
she
humanity is
stole
still
back to the
there.
wild to plot and scheme for her.
She just needs
husband.
coffee.
They say she took to her side many Chasing men, and with their help begat her daughter witches, who even now prowl the dark places of the Kokari wilds.
There was another story I wanted to hear.
Which one?
You know anything about the Daedalus?
I have heard a little about how the elves gained their freedom from the Tevinter Imperium. When Andraste began her exalted march against the Imperium, the elves joined her cause to fight their masters. The great elven leader, Shatan, born in captivity, rose up to lead his people. He foresaw a future where the elves were free. Shatan was killed when Andraste was betrayed, but the elves continued to fight, eventually breaking free of the Imperium. The elves claimed the Dales in the south and settled there in a land of their own.
It didn't
The
last.
elves lived in the Dales for centuries. They resurrected the worship of the elven gods and would allow the building of no chantry. This angered the chantry, and the hostility between the two factions finally broke out in open war. The chantry says the elves struck first, but I do not know whether to believe it. The chantry declared a wholly exalted march against the elves, named for Andraste's similar march against Tevinter. During the exalted march of the Dales, the elven cities were sacked, and the elven state completely dissolved. Some of the elves bitterly accepted their fates and surrendered to human rule, living in the human cities as second-class citizens. But others, still fiercely proud of their heritage, refused to bow to the humans, and instead became
Never
homeless
bow to
wanderers.
humans.
They were the elves of the Dales, the Dalish.
What do you know about Andraste?
Andraste was the Maker's chosen. The Maker had long since abandoned the world when the sound of her singing turned his ear. Beauty, grace, and wisdom enraptured him, and he offered to take her from this flawed world to become his divine bride. But Andraste had an earthly husband and would not forsake him. Instead, she beseeched the Maker to return to his people once more. So earnest was her plea that the Maker
That's
was moved
one package.
and promised that he would create a paradise on earth if all abandoned their false gods and turned once more to him. And this is why Andraste began her exalted march on the idolaters of the Tevinter Imperium. The Maker granted her his powers with which to smite her enemies. Andraste brought the Imperium to its knees, and her victories converted many to the worship of the Maker.
How did Andraste die?
Alas, it was the frailties of men that betrayed and killed Andraste. Her earthly husband, Maferath, a chieftain of the Alamari tribes himself, grew jealous as his wife's popularity and influence overshadowed his own. She was also revered as the Maker's betrothed, and Maferath began to see their own bond waning in significance as Andraste became ever more devoted to the Maker. Out of envy and spite, Maferath made a pact with the Archon Hyserian of Tevinter, allowing his beloved Andraste to be ambushed and captured. Andraste was burned at the stake in Minrathous, the capital of Tevinter.
Why did the Maker not save her with his power?
I have thought on this too. Did he withdraw his sight from her at that moment? Where were all the powers he bestowed upon her? This question has come to me many times, and I have no answer.
Yeah, it
Perhaps there
was like the
no way
Joan of
for
Arc
Andraste to
parallel.
return to the Maker, but through her death. We will never know for sure. I'm here for you. Of course. Of course I do. I love stories far too much to keep them to myself. Everyone should be able to benefit from them, I think.
Alright, some more story told there.
You called.
Why were you in prison?
Caged myself. A weak mind is a deadly foe, as you are no doubt aware.
What do you mean by weak mind?
That is complicated. I came to your lands with 7 of the Beresad, my brothers, to seek answers about the Blight. We made our way across the Ferelden countryside without incident, seeing nothing of the threat we were sent to observe. Until the night we camped by Lake Calenhad. They came from everywhere. The earth beneath our feet, the air above us. Our own shadows harbored the Darkspawn. I saw the last of the creatures cut down, too late. I fell.
It sounds like what happened to me at Ostergard.
I heard the stories of Ostagar. Your kith stood their ground when others fled. No one can do more than that. I don't know how long I lay on the battlefield among the dead, nor do I know how the farmers found me. I only know that when I woke I was no longer among my brothers, and my sword was gone from my hand.
Probably dropped it on the battlefield.
Perhaps. I searched for it, and when that failed I asked my rescuers what had become of it.
Did the farmers know where it was?
They said they found me with nothing.
And then?
I killed them. With my bare hands. I did. I knew they didn't have the blade. They had no reason to lie to me. I panicked. Unthinking, I struck them down.
You panicked over a lost blade?
That sword was made for my hand alone. I have carried it from the day I was set into the Beresad. I was to die wielding it for my people. Even if I could cross Ferelden and Tevinter unarmed and alone to bring my report to the Arishok, I would be slain on sight by the Antam. They would know me as soulless, a deserter. No soldier would cast aside his blade while he drew breath.
Accidents happen.
I'm sure that comforts the farmers.
How can people possibly think that way? Couldn't you search for it?
If I knew where to look, it would be in my hand now.
Where did you fight the Darkspawn?
Near Lake Calenhad.
Don't worry, we'll find it.
Perhaps those words are empty, but thank you all the same.
Right. Pet the dog. Be sure to save game on occasion.
Yes.
Indeed.
Indeed.
Alright, let's go over here.
It appears we will need to fight the entire blight ourselves. Of course.
Right ahead.
Of course. As another battle, I hope. And so I shall.
Come over here. Smack 'em.
Yes, my friend.
Yes.
This is like disable the traps. All right, Felix.
You'll have to forgive me if I seem a bit nervous. Not many people travelling in this part of Ferelden. Of course, that's part of my problem, isn't it? Mule got spooked by a wisp and ran off into the woods. Now what do I do?
Are you asking me to find your mule?
Oh, no. I sent my elf to do that. I mean, I sent my helper, Taran. Nice fellow, that, Taran. Allow me to introduce myself. Felix de Grosbois, merchant and entrepreneur at your service.
A merchant out here?
I don't normally take this route, but with the war, I was hoping for a bit of luck and good weather in the mountains. Sadly, I've had neither. Ugh, this trip has been one miserable disaster after another. I don't suppose you consider helping a fellow out?
Help out a fellow how?
Of all the other things that went wrong, the worst is this artifact I brought in Jada. It's a control rod, I'm told, for a golem. No point in me keeping it, however, as I'll never get to use it. But, maybe you could?
How much do you want for it?
Nothing. I just don't want to have to lug around something that might be taken for a gemstone by some bandit. To be honest, I don't even know if it'll be useful to you. I paid too much to simply throw it away.
What does the control rod do?
The dwarf I brought it from said it activates and controls a golem. So long as you have it in your hand, the golem does what you say. Might be useful, no? I mean, you look like the sort who could use one, yes?
What's the catch?
Yeah, I suppose it is a catch, isn't it? The catch is that the golem didn't come with the rod. It's supposed to be down in a village down south, waiting to be activated. Even if I could get down there, which I can't, I understand the place has been overrun by darkspawn. That's not such an issue for adventurous types like yourself, surely? Or I'm hoping that's so, at least.
I think I could use it.
Just as well. As I mentioned before, you'll find the golem down south, in a town called Honleith. I'll mark it here on your map. Just hold up the rod and say Dulaf Gar. That will wake the golem up, so I'm told. I hope it works.
Personal golem sounds good.
Best of luck to you then. Now, I guess it's up to me to find that mule myself.
All right. All right, down to Honleith.
Be on your guard. Battle speeds our way. Lovely. As you desire.
Bear is destroyed.
Another battle, I see. Of course. Lovely. Begin the onslaught. Too easy.
Right, done. As you wish. Right. All right, done.
Your direction?
Well,
Where are we now? Dare I even ask?
Drake scale armor. Alright, no reason to travel further in that direction. Like, how dare they say there was no reason to travel further? Onward!
shall. As you desire. Lovely. I'll try to be merciful.
We tried to be merciful, but our mercy was lacking.
No.
Alistair here.
No, I don't think so.
Like more gold. Let the slaughter continue.
We have done well. All over.
The Budimus Maximus was kicked. It sings.
Looks like a golem, doesn't it? An actual golem, and not a statue at all. I wonder how it ended up here, of all places.
We shall activate it. All right. Things might be needed.
All done. Yes.
Alright, we'll fight in the corridor.
Complete.
All right. Goodies have been picked up. Anything else in here? Wilhelm Special Brew. This slaughter on the staircase. Decades old letter. Is decades old.
By the Maker, we're saved.
Is this the same barrier from Mass Effect? Where's Liara to Sony?
Sent by the ban, were you? To save us?
No, I'm a Grey Warden.
Grey Warden? Here! Thank the Maker for our luck! But if you weren't sent by someone, why are you here? If you don't mind me asking.
I'm looking for whoever owned the statue outside.
The statue outside? Why would... Oh, I think I see. You bought the control rod, didn't you? You came here looking for Shale.
Yeah, they're running away.
That damnable golem brought us nothing but trouble. My mother sold the rod years ago after it killed my father, and good riddance.
What do you mean it killed your father?
My father's name was Wilhelm, mage to the Isles of Redcliffe and a hero in the war against Orlais. And what did he get? One day, my mother found him outside the tower, with so many broken bones she could barely recognize him, and Shale standing over him just like it is now. My father deserved better than that. But if you really want to wake Shale up, well, it's yours now.
Except the rod doesn't work. Nothing happened.
My mother might have passed along the wrong command phrase when she sold the rod. She said she never wanted to see Shale active again. Look, I'll tell you the command phrase, but I'll need your help first. I know you already saved my life, and I'm grateful, but my daughter is inside the laboratory. She was afraid and ran too far in before I could stop her. I don't know how she made it past my father's defenses. One of the men tried to go after her. He was killed, but you could find her, couldn't you?
What killed this man who went after
There
her?
are defenses my father put down here to keep strangers out. I knew about the barrier, I had the key for that, but the rest of it, well, we never came down here. Ever.
I'll see if I can find her.
Well, thank the Maker!
Yeah, you
My
know.
father's laboratory is just past the next area, I think. She has to be there.
All right, we're going further in. The shade is much lesser than it seems. Gang up on it!
Done it.
Hey, Reaper. How be you today? On this fine... Oh, it's early Tuesday.
What do you mean you've never climbed a tree? Don't cats like to be in trees? Oh look, someone's come to play. You have come to play, haven't you? We're playing a guessing game. It's better with more people.
We? Who is we?
Kitty and me, of course.
Well, kind of shitty because my Discord got disabled, and Discord support is terrible. Ooh, sorry to hear that, Reaper. The cat finds me distracting?
Kitty's clever. She says you want to take me back to my father, but I'm not going. She would be lonely.
You are so kind, Amalia. I would miss you dearly if you left.
The cat is possessed. The cat talks? You might have to create a new Discord?
Of course, silly.
Talking is simple enough, once you know how.
Yeah, if, like, stuff like that happens, is like... That's why I was like always trying to be real careful with my stuff. Oh, what are you really?
I am a cat, really. Nothing you say will convince Amalia to go with you. She loves only me now. I am her friend, while you are just a stranger.
A stranger who finds you very interesting.
Oh, did you hear that, Amalia? I have another admirer.
That's because you're wonderful, Kitty.
I have been bound to this chamber for decades, cut off from all contact. It has been maddening. Release me, mortal, and let me have the girl. Let us return to her father and leave this place forever.
Don't you think you'll notice something out of place?
Mortals often allow themselves to be blinded by hope. They see what they wish to see. If the father hopes
It's
to
like a
see
possessed
Mara
cat.
alive and unharmed, perhaps he will.
Oops. Was one of those girls, I mean, apparently someone who was invited into and started DMing people porn. Ah.
Thank you. You are very gracious. The mage's wards hold me within this chamber, and only a mortal may approach them. There is a trick to disarming the wards, but I do not know it. Perhaps you will succeed where the girl failed.
Oh, this is so exciting! Kitty is going to be free! I've always wanted a cat, and Kitty is so perfect and pretty. I like it when Kitty sings to me.
All right.
Father doesn't like cats, but he never met Kitty. Kitty says Grandpa Wilhelm locked her up in this room. Isn't that awful?
Yeah, it's so awesome. Yep, so my account got flagged, and now I'm just waiting to see if I can get it appealed. Which is really rare, considering that, like, you know,
Kitty is my best friend.
if they were DMing, I may be too simple to understand.
I was thinking about the sun, silly.
All right.
Sorry. Oh, it's a flower. Is it a daffodil? I like daffodils.
Trying to figure this puzzle out.
Tell me a story. wanted a cat, and Kitty is so perfect and pretty.
All right.
Kitty says Grandpa Wilhelm locked her up in this room. Isn't that awful? Oh, it's a flower. Is it a daffodil? I like daffodils.
I am still trapped. What is the matter?
All right.
Oh, it's a flower. Is it a daffodil? I like daffodils. Kitty says Grandpa Wilhelm locked her up in this room. Isn't that awful?
I am still trapped. What is
Damn
the
it, this
matter?
thing is like,
Tell me a story. I was thinking about the sun, silly.
think we got it. There we go. Genius!
Yes. I can feel the magic fading. Oh, I had forgotten how it feels not to be caged.
Kitty? What's happening?
A wonderful thing, my dear, for both of us.
And where will you go after this?
Anywhere. Close your eyes, my darling. This will take but a moment.
The cat possess.
Yes, this is what I wanted. To see, to feel, as mortals do. Yes. I will
Well, you
go
were a
home to my
cat.
Father. He will be happy to see me.
Well, whoops. Well, I can give him presents. That'll make him feel better. But, you know what? I figured out the puzzle. For I am a genius. It's a tier 7 one. We still got a ways to go on it. Enemies popping up out of nowhere. It was like due for combat, you know, spend a lot of time working on that puzzle.
Oh, I think I have some blood on me.
It's like you made me bleed my own blood.
You did it! You freed her!
Yeah, we freed something.
Yes, we are both.
Alright, Reaper, have a good night. We're gonna be wrapping up soon as well.
You're alright, Butterfly.
Of course I am, Father.
The phrase to activate Shale is Dulan Han. If you still want that bloody thing. I wouldn't if I were you.
We should leave, Father.
Yes, of course. Thank you again. We owe you our lives.
Alright. Heading back outside. Is he waking up? "10,000 years can give you such a crick in the neck."
I knew that the day would come when someone would find the control rod. And not even a mage this time. Probably stumbled across the rod by accident, I suppose. Typical.
And how do you know I'm not a mage?
It thinks these crystals are simply for show, I see. Huh. I stood here in this spot and watched the wretched little villagers scurry around me for, oh, I have no idea how long. Many, many years.
Oh, you poor dear. That would be really, really boring.
And the villagers had no idea they were being watched. Creepy.
Very creepy.
Wonders that you wouldn't be grateful to the one who allowed you to stretch your legs, Gollum.
Another mage, I see. Charming. I was just beginning to get used to the quiet, too. Tell me, are all the villagers dead?
I take it wouldn't concern you?
Familiarity breeds contempt, as they say, and after 30 years as a captive audience, I was as familiar with these villagers as one could possibly be. Not that I wish their fate on them, no. But it did make for a delightful change of pace.
Do you have a name?
Perhaps. I may have forgotten after all the years of being called Gollum. Gollum, fetch me that chair. Do be a good Gollum and squash that insipid bandit. And let's not forget, Gollum, pick me up. I tire of walking. It does have the control rod, doesn't it? I am awake, so it must.
Is something wrong?
I see the control rod, yet I feel... Go on, order me to do something.
Alright, walk over there.
And, nothing. I feel nothing. I feel no compulsion to carry out its command. I suppose this means the rod is... broken?
Shouldn't you be happy about that?
I suppose if I can't be commanded, this means I have free will, yes? It is simply, what should I do? I have no memories beyond watching this village for so long. I have no purpose. I find myself at a bit of a loss. What about it? It must have awoken me for some reason, no? What did it intend to do with me?
I haven't given it much thought.
I see. Wonderful. I suppose I have two options, do I not? Go with it or go elsewhere? I do not even know what lies beyond this village.
You're welcome to come with me.
Are you certain you want to bring that thing with us? It could be dangerous.
It'll be huge.
Large.
Think of it as a portable battering ram.
Good point. Better it than me, anyhow.
I will follow it about then. For now. I am called Shale, by the way.
Ish. I'm Maris. Pleased to meet you.
This should be interesting.
We're in a rock and a hard place. Oh, yeah. All right, that's... was something that we needed a key for. Olaf's prize cheese knife.
Have finished.
$496 kills. 66 demons killed.
Very nice indeed.
Please enter a name for the show's Peck Rock. Herbert.
I'm to keep this, am I? Fine.
Well...
Is that for me? Really? Wow. Wow.
Wow. Wow.
If there's anything I can do for you, please. I'm sure you'll be pleased with the goods my...
Let's see. All right. So we have
You and your friends are formidable folk, indeed. I'm sure...
All right. Give you an idea of what we have here. Right. So with that said, we will save it here. We'll figure out where we will go next tomorrow. Actually, we'll probably open up talking with like
At your service. Well, we're in camp. Now's as good a time as any to talk, right? I can't. I'm not ready yet.
Alright, so Alistair disappoints us, but oh well. Alright, so let's just see achievements here. So let's see. Tonight we knocked off killed 100 Darkspawn, defeated the Ogre that killed King Kaelin, completed the Golem in Honolith. That's the OC. Defeated the Harvester. Alright, well, at least we, got an achievement streak going, or at least a new one. As we prepare, basically wrap things up here. Wait, the stuff was on sale? Well, we can check and see what the new sale is. It says choose buy one, get one free. Offhand, nothing there that I will want. Huh. Stuff that's on my wish list. Well, I played Little Kitty Big City, so I can actually take that off the wish list. Alright, well. Alright. Well, we certainly covered a fair bit here. It's like, whoops. Everything's all kerfuffled and such. But, yeah, we had a good time. We knocked off 2 DLC adventures. And so we're in a good spot there to try and figure out where the hell will we go next. Essentially. So speaking of going next, let's see who is on this evening. Who's on? Who's doing stuff right now at nearly 1 a.m. Samuel's offline. This more's obviously not up this late. And let's go visit Sweet Linda. So there we go. Alright, as the chatbot recaps things from the last half hour. So, With that all said, I already know my Joel's here is like get the video uploaded to Facebook, clips and everything sorted. Then I'm going to bed, wake up, and then get some writing done tomorrow. So it's essentially my big thing. So with that all said, tighten your friendship bracelets, stay safe, have a good one. Thanks for hanging out, folks. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Get in there, Fred!